Is this thing on?
And we are live. Welcome back. No, not a welcome back, because we started over. So this is the first show that we're doing, the Spooled Life Live. And we have a very special guest for you. But first, I want to say Happy Memorial Day to everybody that served. It's a big deal. What's up, Marcus? What's up, Dominic? Kevin? Happy Memorial Day to all the veterans out there. A lot of respect. Folks was just listening in. We're listening in. A couple of announcements. We got I want to give a shout out to Robstown High School. First, you must believe. You see it on the shirt. Poco is from Robstown. I'm from Robstown. Give a shout out to Coach Castro and the Castro family for donating the shirt. All the proceeds to the shirt go to the senior class, and they get to go and do a senior trip. That's right. Danny Zuniga. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining.
Mike Flores.
Mike Flores is in the house.
Vincent. Brian.
Arturo. Okay, so let's get started.
San Diego in the house.
I got a shark fisherman, shell smoking, redfish catching. What was the other ones? I wrote them all down, but I already
Kayaker.
Turned kayaker. Coming all the way from about 5 miles down the street, we got Poco Cedillo.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Man, it's an honor.
Right?
Yeah, it's an honor.
Yeah,
Spooled Life Live 2.0.
That's right. We're starting this again. The first time we did it, we had my man Chris Castro here, and we couldn't share nothing. You know, we couldn't share. Everybody was asking, hey, how do I share it? You know, I wanted, some of the sponsors we got wanted to share the page, and we couldn't, so we had to start all over. And I'm sorry I had to delete every single person one by one, because that's just the way Facebook has it. So we deleted everybody. We're starting the group page again. Same name, same style, same format, same amount of raw, because this is a live, raw, real show. So my first guest ever is none other than Poco Cedillo.
That's right.
So this is a huge accomplishment. So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Let's start off with that. For the people that don't know who the man, the myth, the legend is.
Well, Ramiro Rivera said, crawfish eating son of a gun, too.
That's right. That is true.
Well, besides eating them, I can, people say I can make some decent crawfish, so I don't know. One day you guys can see for yourselves. But no, man, born, like you said, born and raised in Robstown, 15 miles from the water. My dad got me started, man, still in Pampers. And, man, it's been a heck of a ride up until now. Man, we grew up fishing for gar and drum and redfish on the bottom with dead shrimp, and now, man, I can't remember the last time I used dead shrimp, but I know I'm planning on doing it here soon. I've been getting that itch, you know, like fishing for croaker, big croaker on the chip channel, just brings back memories, you know.
Right.
But we get away from that and get caught up in the tournament scene and being real competitive, and you just kind of forget your roots. And I kind of want to hit the reset button from time to time, and looking forward to doing that here pretty quick. But yeah, man, I mean, fishing for gar growing up, selling gar before it became, you know, before it was illegal, or I guess until my parents found out it was illegal.
Right.
It's just a way to survive and actually make it fun and go catch more. But you know, I started at the age of about 17. I went from wanting to be a Texas game warden to saying, man, I'm going to be a full-time fishing guide. And I didn't think it ever happened, but it did, and very proud of that. And what I made it to where I was trying to support my wife get through nursing school, and about 16 years later, I decided I didn't want to guide no more. So I had a good run. Got my wife to school and met tons of people and lots of customers. And to this day, I still friends with many of those. But yeah, I guided for off and on for about 16 years and got contracted with different companies to even on payroll for some of them, which was fun. But yeah, man, it's been a heck of a run on that part. And like you said, I mean, just I'm here on the show, man. Tell a little bit about my story and see where it leads us, man. Like you said, it's nothing but raw. So
that's it, dude. And that's interesting, man, because when I first met you, and I could remember it like it was yesterday, man. I think we were in a work class. I don't even know what you call that work class you got in high school, and everybody gets in it just to get out of school early. But we were in a class, and it was Poco Cedillo. You know, Poco always had them starch jeans and that white starch long sleeve polo shirt. For everybody that's watching from Robstown, I'm sure y'all could agree that
they call them something huggers, huh?
Yeah, and you know, I had no idea, man. You know, of course, I wasn't even kayaking at that time, but that's weird how it all came circled, and then, you know, now you're on the biggest show on Facebook, right?
Hell yeah.
There it was the Deca something, right? It was a work class Deca, I don't know. Yeah. So you mentioned shark fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you in high school. We were talking one time, and you would talk about going to Indian Point, and you know that was big. The jetty fishing was big. Yeah. So what got you into shark fishing? Somebody mentioned something, all because of Popo.
Yeah. Well, my dad was never a shark fisherman. He liked to fish in the surf with some of his coworkers when he was younger. But as long as I can remember, my dad was never a surf fisherman. I give all the credit to the guy that got me into surf fishing was Javier Martinez. He was a good friend of mine, still is. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's still in the gar scene. He's real big in the gar and stuff. But he's the one that got me started, man. I was only 15 years old, spending weekends Friday through Sunday on Bow Hall Pier, just trying to learn everything I could from the old timers, from him, and man, I fell in love with the sport,
Right.
And then that went on until after right around senior year, I started venturing off, got my own truck, and started hitting the surf. And I got away from the pier. The pier, it's too crowded, and then all the young guys younger than me, just making it heck on everybody else. So we just decided, hey, man, let's start fishing the surf, get away from everybody.
So everybody was at the VIP nightclub, and you were down the beach.
And I was down the beach, man.
Right.
I never had much of a club in life, that's for sure. But so just so everybody knows, I met my wife in high school at the age of 17, and we're still together 22 years later. So right out of high school, I went to work and started surf fishing, and she was right there with me, and up to this day, still going after it. So yeah, I know she's listening. So
yeah, shout out to Mel.
Yeah.
So when you say you and your wife jumped into the surf, started catching all these sharks, and what else did you catch? Tarpon?
No, I hooked 4 tarpon in my life and lost every one of them.
Wow.
One was for sure over 6 foot, and but I've never landed one, so that's still a bucket list fish. But yeah, like you said, fishing the surf. Anywhere from jacks to reds to trout to all kinds of sharks, and and then obviously a lot of people know me by one of the sharks I caught. I guess we can jump into that for a little bit.
Well, you see, that shows a lot about Poco, guys, because anybody else that would have hooked on to 4 tarpon would have caught those tarpon. If I would have hooked on to a tarpon, I'd be telling you right now that I've caught one, right? So that tells a lot about Poco. He's here, and he's going to tell the truth. So let's get, and that brings up a good topic about the hammerhead you caught, right? But it wasn't just any normal hammerhead, right? There's several different kinds of.
There's 2. There's lesser and there's a greater. And this one that kind of set the internet on fire, and was a 14-foot on the dot greater hammerhead, according to IGFA measurements, which is fork tail, the fork to the head, girth, and then we do some multiplication. Should have been right around 1,028 pounds.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we don't kill them to take them to the scale, but the state record is 1,032. So only about 4 pounds, give or take 100 or two, depending if there's pups or not, in it. It could vary, but again, we don't fish to kill. We fish for sharks to tag and catch and release, just for the sport of it. We send in some tags and fin clips. I mean, we tag the sharks, and then we send in the information to the Heart Research Institute, and there's other research companies, vials and stuff like that. But we do a lot of it for them on our token. They don't pay us to do that. But this one, 14 foot on the dot. Unfortunately, everybody knows by now, it died during the fight. An hour and 15-minute fight. And I took a whole lot of heat. Everyone fishing with me that day took a whole lot of heat. And what people don't know behind the scenes is, between me and my wife, we had over 100 death threats. Can you imagine that? From activists, from divers, from PETA. I got a personalized letter from PETA. How about that? Which I still got framed, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Did you frame it?
Yeah, and a book saying that fish have feelings. So next time you throw a fish in your cooler, just remember it's got feelings.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it got 7 articles written about it across the world. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, it's a bittersweet story. Very, very grateful for have landed that fish. Up until, I think, last year, Eric Osling caught a 14.6. But before that, I think it was the longest recorded shark catch in about 40 years in the state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But Oz, being the master he is at shark fishing, man, I tend to say I'm pretty good at shark fishing, but a lot of my knowledge came from him.
Right.
And he has set the bar high, man. Say 14.6. So I don't know. I keep saying in my head I'm going to go back and try to beat his. But who knows, man? I took a long break, like everybody knows, I took a break. Not really because of the heat, but, man, I just deal with some, I've got a few medical issues, and, I'll come out and say, arthritis, and out there, it's before all these drones and all this electronic stuff, it was nothing but kayaking. Kayak your baits out, no matter how rough it is, if you had what it takes, get it out there. Well, that takes a toll after a weekend, so I told my wife I needed to back off and pursue another venture, do something else and let my body rest. Well, I jumped straight into what I know how to do is kayak. So only a whole lot calmer.
Right.
And not as much work, I guess you can say. So, yeah, that shark set me way up there. But like I said, there was a price to pay for it. So it's all good now.
Which the backlash has it stopped? How many years ago was that?
That was in 2017. And
because there still is posts going around,
2017, and I still
that,
about once or twice a year I'll get a death threat.
Oh, really?
And he went after my wife too, even threatening to come after her and yada yada, and saying that we use our dogs for bait and. Anyways, like you said, it shows raw, man. I'm throwing it out there, but it got a little crazy there for a little while. So, but it's all over, and like I said, I still get targeted sometimes here and there, and I just laugh about it. I used to respond. Now I just delete them and block or whatever. But, so
we got a question, and for the viewers, I highly recommend y'all stay on the show till the end, because there's a surprise at the very end of the show. We got a question from David Teran, all the way from Houston, is what did the hammer pick up?
That was about a 12-pound cownose, a whole cownose, one single 24-aught catch-all catch-all circle hook. But it was about a 12-pound cownose ray. Yep.
There it is, David. And when you say you hook the full cownose, right, like this, right?
Yeah.
So when you go into Roy's Bait and Tackle, Corpus Christi, you look at all the shark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get Rocky in here or Mr. Mike Shappy and say how Roy's even started. You know, because you go in there and you get the you got the light tackle, you know, you got the little shrimp and you got the paddle tails, but there's a lot of shark equipment in that store.
Well,
you
man,
know what I mean?
I think I can speak a little bit for them and say that whole monster operation, very successful, started in a little up front called the Shark Shack. And old Roy and my dad used to get along very good, and we'd go in there and talk, and man, it was just a shark fishing stuff. I mean,
Right.
that's really what it was. I mean, it was very little that I can recall, very little light tackle stuff. I mean, Roy targeted, you know, he was catering to the shark guys back in the day. So, yeah, that was really cool.
So I would go in there and I would see these big shark hooks and stuff, and I'd be like, man, is that like something you put on your wall just to, you know, so people could see? But y'all use that.
Yeah.
Y'all use those big hooks.
Yeah. I've got one about that big, you know, that's decorations. I mean, just for the heck of it. But no, you know, 24-aught, you know, circle hook is you know, as round as your hand.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it just, you know, people use 2, 3, 4, 5 hooks. I started learning to just use one and put it in, you know, the placement right, and it does the job every time.
So the circle hook instead of the J hook.
Well, you know, it helps with the release and survival of the shark. You know, it keeps them from. I mean, it increases the better odds of them not eating the hook.
Okay,
so,
I got you. So you want the whole goal of it is to release the shark, of course, right?
That is primarily the goal, man. I mean, I've released hundreds of sharks in my life, and I've had 2 or 3 die on me. Besides the 1 or 2 little, you know, 3 or 4 foot black tips that we keep for shark steaks on the grill or something,
Right.
you know. But which if anybody's ever tried that, you need to try it. You know, under 3, 4 foot, great on the grill, black tips. But besides that, we tagged and released hundreds of them, and I've had 2 or 3 die on me, and unfortunately the big 14-footer died. And but 1 month prior to that, I released a 12-foot greater hammerhead. Tagged, released, successful. So that was pretty cool.
What happened to it? What did y'all do with it?
The hammer?
Yeah, after you're done.
Yeah, we were able to, you know, harvest the meat. We knew that unfortunately it had died on us, but we were able to harvest the meat. We got about 450 pounds of meat, and a good friend of mine, Timmy Tomlinson, loaded up all the ice chests and headed into town and iced it down. And the next morning he was able to donate every single pound of it to the homeless shelter in Corpus.
Okay.
And they were happy to take it all. I mean, yeah, it's probably not the best meat, but they made the best of it. Feedback was that they enjoyed it, you know, so they were very appreciative. But and then we donated about a 4-foot piece of the I guess you can say the cartilage, you know, backbone, to the Heart Research Institute, and it came back that they only measured up to 32 years, and it maxed it out, so it was at least 32 years. That's pretty crazy.
Right.
Yeah. 17 barbs, stingray barbs, came out of its mouth, from the mouth to the tail. So it had been through battle.
Damn.
And even, you know, the lady that took the cartilage said you don't know if it died because of the fight or something else. It had so many wounds in it, you know, old wounds. I mean, all the way to the center, from when it was probably very small. So we don't know what happened to it. But.
So that hammer was trying to eat them stingrays.
Oh yeah,
right.
That's one of their favorite foods. Yep.
So, and that's why you use cownose.
Cownose and jackfish are probably the 2 best, but this one took about a 12-pound cownose ray.
Wow.
So,
Cool, man.
Yep.
So after that, you know, of course you went fishing again, right? Of course you went.
Yeah.
After the death threats, you know, that didn't stop Poco. He kept on going out there fishing the surf. And then all of a sudden you say, you know what? I'm going to go shoot some shells. Right? So everybody that follows you, if y'all aren't following him, I highly recommend going and doing it. It's good content, good knowledge behind Poco's posts. It's the Poco Life on Instagram, and of course, you know him as Poco Cedillo on Facebook. Go give him a follow, check it out, check out his content, hit that heart button. But if y'all haven't noticed, and most of y'all know by now, is that Poco is a kayak fisherman. So, where did you get where did that even start, Poco?
Yeah,
because that's
man.
like two lives, man.
Yeah.
There's like two people in this world. There's kayak fishermen and there's shark fishermen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
though the shark
it
guys
involves,
use
for the
kayak,
most
right?
part, it involves a kayak. Both
Yeah.
of them, it does. But, man, before I jump into that, I want to answer Gordo Delgado. He says, how heavy top shot did you use? I keep getting broken off. Gordo, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't use a top shot. There is a group down here in South Texas that does not use top shots. I prefer not to use a top shot because of the currents that we have down here. They're very strong, and if to me, to a bunch of us, using a heavy top shot, being 200-300 pound mono, just has a lot of drag with the current. Personally, I use straight braid from the bottom all the way to the top, and depending what reel, it can be 130 pound to 250 pound. To answer your question, this reel had about 1,500 yards of 150, and it was topped off with about 300 yards of 250. So that was on a big 80 wide TRX Avid, So yeah, if you ask around on some of the shark pages, you'll get a lot of information on that, man. Just straight braid to the top, cuts the water better, and it holds up. So yeah, now we can go into the kayak scene. So
Vincent Vo, also from Houston. And I'm trying to answer all these questions, guys, but it's just going so fast.
yeah.
A little
Hey, Vincent,
background,
Vincent,
I have no
can-
idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, Vincent, I can see your question, man, and I'll tell you what, you can reach out to me, man. I'll tell you everything there is. But just real quick, about a 36-foot, 1,000-pound mono leader with about 5-6 foot of 800 to 1,000-pound coated cable, 24-aught hook, depending on weight. Current wind, 10 to 20 ounces of a spider weight. So I personally like Cat Sharks tackle, or you can go to Roy's. They got everything you need there also. So yeah,
Man, so I've done a little bit of shark fishing myself. When we were shark fishing, me and my buddies, we'd read a lot of stuff. We'd read a lot of articles. Billy Sandifer was one of them that we listened to.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, the legend, man.
And we would hear a lot about magnetic pulses going through the water.
Yeah.
Tie your hooks with electrical tape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Did you do any of that stuff?
I
too?
can honestly say I never did, but
Yeah.
it crossed my mind, man.
Yeah.
You read up a lot of it, but
Right.
I will tell you this: that we do wrap. Personally, I do wrap my hooks with electrical tape. Something about them feeling the steel, they don't like. A lot of people say it's baloney. I can't tell you if it's true or not, man, but I personally like to do that, and
Right.
it works for me. So
I'll tell you what, dude. You go to the Laredo Taco Company and you get you a taco, and you leave a piece of that foil on your taco.
yeah,
you're gonna feel it
You're gonna
instantly.
feel it. Yeah, it
dude.
makes sense, man.
Right?
That's a good point.
All right, so let's get back. Let's go. How many years ahead to you say, you know what? I'm gonna get into kayak fishing.
Man, I got out of. I took that short break. When I say short break, I'm still there. In about 18, early 18, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Ram. I fished, but I didn't do a lot of fishing. And what I did it off a boat for trout and redfish. But it was, early 2000. Man, I just got a spark of interest, to get into, the tournament kayak scene, the kayak tournament scene, and I'm very competitive, so I just figured, well, might as well jump in and have some fun and a little bit more personal, more relaxed, at my own pace, not have to worry about nothing. My wife likes to kayak, so I just decided to go ahead and reach out to my current tournament partner, which is Chris Castro. And him being respected in the kayak scene and all, he's here local, lives probably 5 miles from us too. And so I reached out to him and I said, man, I know kayaks. I've done miles and miles of kayaks, but in a different way, man. In the Gulf, in the Bay, I've done very little all my life. I can't say that I haven't kayak fished. I have, but I wanted to really get serious about it, and I knew I had to reach out to people like yourself, Chris, many others out there that are respected and get some more knowledge on what. And so yeah, man. I reached out to him and told me, what I needed to do, how I needed to do it. offered some on the water, experience with them, and it was hook, line, and sinker, man. I never turned back.
Mm-hmm.
Getting more and more into it now, so it's a drug. I'm after
Right.
it. So I've been at it now about a year and a half. Every chance I get when work or life lets me, I'm on a kayak. I'm trying to, earlier today I was chatting with some guys online, telling them about the tournament scene. I love it, man. It's competitive, and I try to do as many as I can. Boundaries, no boundaries, trout, redfish, it doesn't matter. I want to do it. Just a lot of them don't work out because of life and work.
Right.
Got too many hobbies. You're saying about
Yeah.
the shell smoking. I love to shoot sporting clays as well. So, yeah, man, kind of run around everywhere. I just never sit still. So,
Mm-hmm.
But the kayak thing, it is what
like
it is,
it?
man. I love it, and that's how we got closer ourselves, and met a lot of great people. And I'm really looking forward to what the future holds. Just lots of good happening in the kayak scene. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. Last year, because of COVID, everybody was just fishing and kayak fishing, and it just blew up, man. And it's good for the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
As you could tell from the you being a tournament angler, you get a lot of the tournament scene backlash as it is, right? So when you were a guide, when your wife was going through school and stuff, you competed in
I did.
tournaments?
I was actually just had a conversation about this not long ago, and I even went back and found some pictures online of when I competed alongside Ron Henney Jr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, back in the Cabela's Redfish series. I would say around 2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ron doesn't know this, but me and Ron competed along each other, and I can say I wasn't very good, but we were weekend warriors. Again, just wanted to go out there and compete, have a good time, but you had these guys pre-fishing, 2-3 days or a week or two, and they did very well. We were just wanting to go out there and hang out with all the cool guys, and so I've always been involved with the tournament scene, fishing redfish tournaments and stuff, but got away from a lot of that early on, and now I'm back in it as heavy as ever, but on the kayak. So
Right.
yeah, but I've always fished redfish tournaments off a boat,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just come out and say it, man. It looks like I may be fishing the a boat series next year, redfish. So,
In your boat.
in me or a friend's boat.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm looking at. Hopefully it doesn't. Mess up with the kayak side, being that Ron puts on the same day. But if not, we're going to look at maybe doing another series. So I'm looking at doing kayak and boat redfish tournaments next year. So
From the boat tournaments that you participated in and the kayak tournaments that you participated in, is there a different level of competitiveness? Is that even a word? Competitive, more competitive.
yeah.
Because there's a small group of kayak tournament anglers. There's I'm sure there's a small group of boat tournament anglers, right?
In the kayak scene?
In the boat, and compared to each.
What was that again?
So
I'm sitting here reading the question.
I'm about to turn Poco's phone off over here. So from going to the boat tournaments to the kayak tournaments, is there a difference of competition?
I know where you're getting
there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, man. In the boat scene, it's the competition is amazing. And again, going now, us doing the redfish tournaments and interacting with the boat guys on the same day. Man, half of the field on the boat side is still at it after all these years. I recognize.
Oh, really?
2/3 of those guys are the guys I competed with back in the day. So it's pretty cool, man. But they're very, very competitive on the boat side. On the kayak side, it's just as much or more, which is very surprising. Very, very competitive on the kayak side. I'll come out and say there's just a little bit more drama on the kayak side. You know? I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of fun to be involved in some of it here and there. But yeah, man, I mean, the kayak scene is very competitive. And again, I mean, it's just, there's so many tournaments. Some of them interact, overlap with others. People get mad, yada, yada. But man, I think at the end of the day, there's a little bit out there for everybody, whether you're competing at a high level, being the the professional redfish league, with high payouts, high entry fees, or you do the smaller stuff. But there's something out there for everybody in the kayak scene. You just have to want to be able to do it. I mean, even if you do it for fun or for competition, but it's out there. It's almost every weekend. Yep.
What is your go-to rod and reel and setup on tournament day?
Man, I run. I've been with Pure Fishing for 17, 18 years. Before that, it was Shakespeare Fishing, but I run. My go-to is a Boo Garcia Revo X. $99, man, anywhere you go. I've put them through heck with my guiding career, personal, and I've used many rod brands. Currently, I'm using a T3 rod, and made by Top Tier Tackle, and I'm happy with it. 30-pound Suffix is what I use. AM lure, any jig head to your preference. I like salty head. That's my personal preference. But yeah, man, that's I keep it simple and it works, man. So, but yeah, that's to answer. Yeah, that'll answer that.
Yep.
There was one question up on top asking Vincent, I believe, was asking about if we're going to fish the Cats tournament. And Vincent, I'm going to tell you this: I didn't get to fish the one out east because I had a vacation in Louisiana. The one in Rockport I wasn't supposed to fish because we were going on an elk hunt in Wyoming. We didn't get drawn out, so guess what? I'll be there. I'm going to be there at the one in Rockport.
If y'all tuned in to the Chris Castro show, we spoke a little bit about Poco, and Poco is the definition of an outdoorsman. He shoots clays. We're kind of going backwards now, but shoots clays. You hunt. And when we say hunt, it ain't just go outside and shoot some dove off the power line hunt. This dude goes and he walks for elk miles and might not even see nothing or pass up on something, right? I mean,
yeah, man. A lot of people see me as a big guy, and I am a big guy. Not much of a Western, hunter type of guy. But I got a lot of heart, and we get after it. Me and my wife hunted 3 days in New Mexico year before last. In 3 days, we did 24 miles on foot, and that ain't no flat elevation either. But yeah, man, I love it. I love the adventure. Like I said, that's my problem is I like too many things, and I'm an adventurous guy, and it's just hard to stay focused on certain things. But kayak keeps me focused down here while I'm in South Texas. I did see. Kyle mentioned there's a tournament this weekend, and he is right. I believe it's his tournament out of Aransas Pass, and that should be a good turnout for the guys in here that don't know. Looks like we may be fishing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be a fun deal if you guys make it out, man. We'll see y'all there.
What is your go-to trout lure?
Go-to trout lure would be.
And redfish lure.
Redfish, depending where I'm at, but I'm a huge fan of A&M lures. Those guys are in Roy's Bait and Tackles, very easy to get, for me and for anybody else. I like the Red Glow, which is a white and chartreuse. That's my favorite for redfish. For trout, I would say the Purple Haze, which is the purple glitter with the chartreuse tail. Mm-hmm. Number one, and from there, root beer and chartreuse, but those two would probably be my favorite ones. Yeah.
So now we're going to stop what we're doing, and we're going to go on to this segment that I like to call Koozie Talk. So what's keeping our beverages nice and cool are these cool koozies. We got some bass on them. And these koozies are straight from Roy's Bait and Tackle, guys. Go check them out. Roy's Bait and Tackle on Instagram. Roy's Bait and Tackle on Facebook. Go cruise to the shop. They got everything you need. They got everything Poco and I use, and they are my outfitter of choice. Roy's Bait and Tackle, guys.
Yes, sir, man. I think they all know us by first name there. I think they ought to put me on their income tax if I think we all spend enough money at that
right.
price. But it's a fisherman's paradise, man. So. Yeah, they do. Those boys over there do a great job, man. But so I got some characters up here. Well, we'll go with James Matheson. He says, "What's your what's your go-to search lure when fishing new waters? Man, Jason, if I'm digging deep, a gold spoon for redfish all day long. Once I find them, I'll switch to an AM plastic. But as far as drifting, casting as far as I can with a, half-ounce gold spoon, man, that's my deal. If I feel that the gold spoon is not doing it, then I'll switch to a root beer or purple haze AM, grind that out. But so my good friend and ex-salesman, Steven Garza, says rides horses.
Let's talk about that on the next segment.
All right,
segment coming
yeah,
up.
that's a good one, guys.
Hey, but when you answer James,
Yep.
if you're cruising around, you already started to drift, and hopefully another kayaker's not in your way, you know what I mean, and you're cruising about 15 miles already worth of drift, and you finally hook on something with a gold spoon, why change to an AM lure?
Well, the thing about goat spoon is in clear water, it works either great, in my experience, or it doesn't, for that same reason. It's clear, and a lot of times they short bite it, just bump it. So at that time, if I'm not getting the proper hookups, and in most cases I'm running a weedless spoon also, and it just seems like at times either I lose the fish or they're just bumping it, or I'll even see them chasing it but won't hit it, then I'll change and run a plastic, and then more realistic, I guess you can say, more action, and it usually does the trick.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is times where no matter what you do, it doesn't work, but I'll switch back and forth. I usually have 2 or 3 rods running different things, and if I'm in the flats, I will almost always have a goat spoon or a AM lure tied on, and then the third rod, whether it be with a float or something. But either one of those two, if you can't get it done, it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
You can always bust out the cut bait,
Yeah, that's right. A lot of people do that on tournament day. So.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? We're up to 52 viewers,
man, it was
guys.
like 58 earlier, man.
That's good.
That's
Man,
good,
I'm
man.
excited.
Thank you guys for coming and joining us, man. It's a pretty cool deal.
So let's get into, we got into the difference between boat and kayak tournaments. You mentioned your tournament partner was Chris Castro.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, there's, when you get into a team event, we spoke about this with Chris, but I want to get your side of the story, just in case Chris wasn't, quite telling the truth, you know what I mean? But you have to have a connection with your partner. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and say, man, Chris, you got to focus on what you're doing, and you're over there, Chris is having a bunch of birds' nests over there, son. You're like, man, dude, and then your heart starts pumping, and then you miss a cast or something. What kind of connection do you recommend for the guys that are viewing, and they want to get into some team events, big time tournaments? Give us a little bit about the working together aspect.
Well, if you ever see me make a post about me looking for a new kayak partner, tournament partner, Chris been backlashing a bunch.
Right.
Now, man, Chris is very knowledgeable, and again, it all just kind of worked out. I reached out to him for some knowledge and went out for a day of fishing. We talked about doing some tournaments, and next thing you know, we're neck deep in it. What makes it unique is that I've got a lot of experience. Again, people sometimes look at me as that I'm new into fishing. Well, no, I'm new into kayak tournament scenes, but I've been fishing my whole life, and I've got a ton of experience. But me and you got Chris that just his mind thinks different, man. I mean, he just analyzes everything, and I'm just a grinder, and he thinks a lot different than I do, but in a good way. And between both of us, man, we just click. And a lot of times we're both thinking about the strategy is the same. Leading up to a tournament, let's say like this coming Saturday, I've got a plan, you've got a plan, whoever, Chris or anybody else got a plan, but then me and him will kind of talk about it, and it's like, damn, our plan is the same, so we're basically, we think alike. So for you guys that are wanting to, maybe consider getting into the tournament scene, yeah, man, find yourself a good partner, somebody that's reliable, somebody that can share the cost with you, somebody that thinks alike with you. I mean, and I say the cost because it is expensive, whether you're fishing a $50 tournament or a $450 tournament or $600. We got one in October. The championship will be about $800 before it's over. Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, somebody that can share the cost with you, share the knowledge with you, click together, You know, and the last thing you want is be on the water $800 deep into a tournament, and you guys are bumping heads because he wants to go left, you want to go right, you know, and it just won't work out.
What do you do when there is conflicts on the water? I say conflicts, but you know, you try to keep it down to. It's like you said, you do get a game plan. You know, you're on Google Maps and you're like, dude, this red line right here has been producing all week long, because you just don't just jump in. Yeah. And we're gonna go fish over here and.
Well, we did do that the last tournament.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, you know, me, I changed jobs and I wasn't able to pre-fish. Chris was busy; he wasn't able to pre-fish. So, man, we just came up with a game plan that we talked about last year. I know some people use logbooks, you know, logbooks of the years prior. I'm one of those. I try, but I don't do it as often. But I just so happened that last year, around that time of the tournament, which is about 3 weeks ago, we were on some fish, and we knew where to go. So when we got there, it had been busted up, and you know, we didn't know, but there was other kayakers in there. So we went to Plan B really fast, and we made it work. Long stories in 2 days. You know, we ended up second place, came up from behind, and it just worked out. But that is key, is that we both agreed for Plan B. My Plan B and his Plan B was exactly the same. So we just grinded it out, and you know, it worked. But if you're going to be having conflict on tournament day, man, you know, it ain't ever going to work. I mean, so you might as well have the conflict before, figure it out, get it over with, and then, you know, or find yourself a new partner. But
you know, you mentioned logbooks and stuff. The Angler app, I think it's ANGLR or something like that, is a pretty good app if you want to keep track of all that stuff. Check out that app.
Yeah, man, it's pretty good.
Power fisherman or slow and thorough?
Depending where I'm at and what I'm doing. Again, in the flats, if I'm whether competing or just out for a fun day, I'm grinding. I'm grinding hard. I'm covering lots of water, targeting potholes, change of depth, shorelines, wind-blown shorelines, looking for bait. You know, I'm digging deep and I'm pushing hard. When I'm fishing, let's say a marsh system, I like to call it spot and stop. You know, like a hunter, man. You're hunting. I'm looking for water, you know, slight water movement. I'm looking for nervous shrimp, nervous bait, a tail, you know, a back. I'm hunting. So it's very different for us, like going from, again, a busted up area to going to Plan B, and I'm still in the hunting, way of thinking. So now I'm trying to hunt fast, and I'm looking for the exact same thing, but moving a little faster. So it makes it a little difficult. And that day we ran into a lot of solid fish, man, and there was no reason why us and Gunner, we probably would have had a lot tighter. I guess you can say for first place would have been really tight, because we were on the right fish. They just weren't cooperating. And so yeah, I mean, it's hard to leave what you know is a 7-8 pound fish when he don't want to touch your bait. You know, I mean, no matter what you did, no matter what we did, it didn't want to work. We'll move on, go to the next one, and we left a lot of solid fish behind, but man, it worked out anyways. So yeah, that'll answer that.
Kyle Manack says you don't fish spots, you fish conditions.
That is true.
Right?
That is true. I refer to a spot as that's where I'm going, but I mean, it's not my spot. It's not, you know, your spot, whatever.
Yeah, it ain't nobody's spot. So on the water, how do you? Chris has his own sponsors. You have your own sponsors. When you all come together at these events, has there ever been like a sponsor conflict between your sponsors and his?
No.
Or do you say no?
I don't.
We're not going to do that event, or
no. Like in most cases, we agree to fish the same tournaments. Many times we fished. You know, I've won a few tournaments that are individual tournaments, and we'll fish together just to show our, share our knowledge, or at least be safe out there. You know, have a buddy with you, but we'll fish the same tournament, being singles. So we're competing against each other, but man, it makes it fun, But no, we Chris is sponsored by his people, and I'm sponsored by mine. He's affiliated with a very large, retailer kayak group, and not local. but they treat him well, and I respect that. And I'm not affiliated with any big retailer or bait shop or anything like that. I'm sponsored more by individual companies that have reached out to me, and we've come to an agreement. And I, for one, I like their product and it works. So no, we've never really had any conflict with our sponsors. And man, it'd be awesome if one day we can both be sponsored by the exact same people. That'd be pretty cool. But
Right.
But for now, man, we'll just take what works for us, what people are willing to help us out with, and go from there.
Yep.
Yep. I saw a question here. Non-tournament day favorite place to fish, and I think that was Kyle. Kyle, I'll answer that and say my favorite place to fish is the Laguna with my wife. Simply because in most cases it's calm, it's shallow, something happens, we can just bail out. The waters there are very different than a marsh system or a deeper bay with reefs or something. She enjoys fishing for redfish, so we try to target the upper Laguna with whatever bait we're going to use, and she enjoys that area. And again, in most cases that's a shorter paddle, so that's fun, and that'll answer that, man. I really like fishing the upper Laguna when I'm not competing.
Any tips on targeting reds at night?
Man, I can't remember the last time I fished at night, but the last time I did was in a marsh system on a full moon, and that was fun. Tons of redfish, but I ended up just using the same exact lure, just a white chartreuse, and I guess the moon made it work.
Right.
But no, man, I have no major input on that.
So we're up on 48 minutes, 46 minutes, 48 minutes. We're moving along pretty good.
Dang,
Good.
that's flying by.
So I want to get into this segment that I was at this fishing show, went with a couple of buddies of mine, and they told me to check out this TikTok video. And some dude was on a horse. We got a question about horses, so that
Stephen Garza.
Yeah, Stephen Garza brought up horses a while ago. I was watching this TikTok video about some dude who was on a horse. He was weird that he was wearing a white shirt, also white long sleeve polo, and it just so happened that it was Poco. So he's gonna explain that on this segment we like to call "Get the Hawaii, Bro," and that means what happened there, man.
Yeah. So, man, real short. I've been in either sales or management in the natural gas industry, and we deal with a lot of customers. A lot of them are ropers, a lot of them fishermen, hunters, golfers. I mean, I do a little bit of everything, guys. So, in this situation, we had gone to a sporting clay shoot, and I got a call from, at that time, was a customer. He said, "Hey, man, we're at a roping in Sinton. You want to come over and hang out?" I said, "Sure, I ain't got nothing to do." So I decided to go over there and hang out with those guys. And there's one thing about me is once I get something in my head that I want to try, I'm going to try it. And one thing that's been in my head for many years, and I know my wife's watching, she'll say, I've always wanted to try roping. And to me, it just looks cool. It's a cool sport. But I don't own a horse, and I don't know how to rope. Well, that night, ranch water got the best of me, and I had one too many, and I was offered to get on a horse and go throw a rope. So I went ahead and jumped in and got on it. I got on it, man, and let's just say that pony had somewhere to go.
Oh, yeah?
My roping career ended in about 2.5 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Went off the back end, got up with the rope still in my hand, and that horse was nowhere to be found.
So everybody's gonna want to see that now. So
there
you
is,
gotta post it.
There is, man.
Let's post it to the Spooled Life Live.
Nobody's ever seen that video, but
Exclusive
a few people.
to the Spooled Life Live.
It was my customer, now a good friend of mine, buddy.
I hope so, man.
His girlfriend videoed it, so there is a video about that. So if you guys are lucky, I'll go ahead and post it.
I hope you earned a client that day.
Actually, we're working along each other now.
Oh, yeah.
we work with each other.
So JC Gonzalez, also fellow Robstonian, says, "Don't let those poppers go to waste, bro. Man, you go into somebody's house, especially this one here, and you'll see apples, fake apples. You'll see fake lemons. Here at the Spoiled Live studio, we got fake jalapeno poppers, man. All right?
No, they're not fake. We're going to tear them up here in a little bit. Yeah, but
Marcus Molina, short career.
yeah, short career. He's my well, we actually work together now, but he knows he's seen the video about the roping. It was a short career. Yes, it was.
Marcus Molina is the one that catches rattlesnakes.
Yeah, that's
Right?
him. That's him.
Man,
Yeah.
Marcus, golly.
Yeah, we work together now.
Rocky's hungry.
Yeah.
Make him post it, Mel. You got to, Mel. Everybody's wanting to see it.
Yeah.
So, we talked a little bit about working together, conflicts on the water, sponsorship conflict. Let's get into what everybody's waiting to hear is about. People being there. And we can get into different sides of this because when you're in a hot tournament, man, big deal tournament, of course everybody gets there early, you know, but there is a time to cast, right? Some of these tournaments are getting into, man, we don't care what time you get there. Just don't cast till 6:15, 7:15. When you arrive at a spot and there's already cars there,
Yep.
what's your mentality? You know, you have to think something. You're like, dude, it's a minivan, you know, so this dude ain't fishing. You know, he's some weekend warrior, or he might be fishing. You know, what goes through your head as a tournament angler?
What's funny is that most tournaments, there's always somebody at the launch. It just seems like you can never get away from people. And again, the kayaking is just gone through the roof, man. I mean, it is such a fast-growing sport. You almost can't go anywhere without not running into somebody. So I don't personally, me and Chris, or my partner, or whether I'm fishing by myself, I don't let that affect me, man. I got a game plan, and we go after it. So, for instance, that tournament day, we launched a little bit late due to a little issue, and when we got to, the area we were going, there was 4 trucks at the spot, at that launch.
Tournament anglers.
Tournament anglers. That it had to have been, and we recognized a few trucks, So, so again, our first spot when we got there to our area, it was busted. So it was go to Plan B. So a good fisherman will adapt very fast. Whether you just make a day out of it, or if you're competing, you're going to go hard and go somewhere else. I mean, it's just that quick. But I don't let another vehicle or another fisherman discourage me from fishing the area that I had planned to fish. I mean, I'm just going to go for it. Right. Go big or go home, they say, right?
Yep. So. Y'all actually ran into some problems when Chris was here about I don't remember what he said, but y'all ran into some problems and y'all actually got a late start.
Yeah.
Right? So when you get a late start in a tournament and you've been, obviously you talk to your partner, okay, dude, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try to hit this, depending on who's there, right? Then you got your plan B. When you get a late start and you start 3 hours, 2 hours
that day
late,
was 3 hours late.
You know what I mean? What do you do?
Man, it was just one of those things that we knew it was going to happen. Family first, always.
Right.
We're very competitive, but it's family first. And if we paid our dues that night and we knew that we were gonna be, probably only fishing about 3 hours that day, our first day, for day 1 of 2. But we decided it was, we were going to go for it. We had a plan, and we were going to go run. And we only had 3 days, so we were going to have 1.5 days to make this work. And 3 hours late. By the time we got to our location and all, we were 3 hours late. And we went for it. We caught, 2 fish that were respectable, and the tournament before that, we released these size of fish, which is about 5.5 pounds. We released them thinking we needed better, and we had the go big or go home mentality, and it cost us a what probably could have been a 3rd place finish. So this time around, we just made a game plan and executed, knowing that we only had 3 hours to fish. We executed, and we had 10.5 pounds, which was the exact same fish, 5.5 pounds, and we just said, let's do it, man, and good thing we did.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Man, that's one thing that I got a text at 4:30 in the morning saying, hey, man, I'm definitely going to be really late. And I said, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, brother. And it was. It worked out. So the next day we came in with almost 20 pounds. So yeah, it was just squeezed past Dustin and his partner. About 2/10 of a pound.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
so yeah,
dude.
yeah, it was tight.
Yeah.
It was tight, but the plan executed. You know, we executed the plan and it worked out. Yep.
So we talked about blowing spots,
Yep.
showing up, people fishing in your all's area on tournament day. We talked about you falling off a horse. We talked about, let's talk about a little bit, and you know, you've been in the game a lot, but you've been in the game in kayak fishing for how long already?
About a year and a half.
2 years?
As
Year and a
far,
half,
yeah, a
2 years?
year and a half. You know, to say full bore. You know,
Uh-huh.
where this is the only thing I'm doing right now. So
As you could tell already, the media itself gives the term we like to call pro staff, right? Pro staff,
yeah.
sponsored, ambassador. You know, they call them a lot of things. So a lot of the people don't know too much about the stuff, or don't even want to, right? You have to tell yourself, man, I'm gonna get with this company, you know, and I'm gonna give it my all, right? They back me, so I'm gonna back them. What's your thoughts on the rise of the pro staff term?
Yeah, man. I don't like the term pro staff. I'll come out and tell you I don't like it, and reason being that it's a washed up word. I mean, everybody uses it these days. Whether you get 5%, 10%, 15%, 50 or 100%, everybody uses the term pro staff. So to me and many others, it doesn't mean anything. Some people get a cat for free, and they consider themselves pro staff,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so me, when I partner up with a sponsor, or first of all, I got to believe in the product. And I've made the mistake of partnering up with a company that wasn't local and didn't have the representation, but I wanted to help the company, and it just didn't work out. Long story. So at that time, it was an eye opener, and I realized that I had to represent. If I was going to represent somebody, I had to represent somebody that has other representation, other shops, local shops that friends or whoever can see that I'm using, and also walk into a local shop and pick up, you know, for themselves. So I started focusing on that, and man, it's really worked out. I mean, again, I'm not affiliated with Roy's. I know those guys. Me and Rocky go way back. Sharkfish together for many years. Runs a great operation, but I'm not affiliated with them. But I like to be able to walk in and pick up what I need there, and it's the stuff that I like to use and stuff that I'm sponsored by. So to answer again, the question is, I don't like the word pro staff, but many people do. Whether you get again a shirt or a 15% off a shirt, if it drives you, go for it. Don't stop. Don't let me stop you from going after it. I mean, it may lead to something later bigger, and that's great. But just believe that product works for you, and also you are now. I consider myself. I work for my sponsors.
Right.
I don't earn a paycheck, but I'm working for them, man. I'm representing them like if I was an employee.
Mm-hmm.
And many people don't see that. Many people see it as what's in it for me, you know, and not worry about them. It's never going to work like that.
Yeah.
Most sponsors will actually see right through you. And that's just my advice, man. I mean, if you're going to go full bore, and yes, being sponsored does limit you because you're committed to those companies. And I get it. But me, I go, when I consider myself sponsored or actually supported by a company, it's because that's the product that I'm using. I don't have to be, yes, I'm limited, but that's what works for me.
Yeah.
So I don't care about the other
It's companies you back already.
It's companies I back, you know,
Yeah.
but other people see it different. They're like, oh, well, you can't try something else. Well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they would have told you no, you'd still be using it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that.
I had a lot of guys, I've had several guys message me and ask, man, what do I need to do to get at that level of
Yeah.
sponsorship,
I
right?
get
Because
asked
I'll
that,
stop them. I'll be like, man, it's not a pro staff, right? And I'll explain what the pro staff term means to me, right? But for the upcoming anglers that are on the show, and I say upcoming, but the guys that are just coming up, the guys that are tournament fishing, you know what I mean? What advice can you give them to be because everybody wants to
Yeah.
be a part of something. you
Yeah,
know?
so like Seth Barnes, he has pro. The word pro stands for promotional, not professional in most cases, and he is 100% correct. Man, you got to be able to go out there and promote these companies. Again, go to work for them. They're They're going to help you with product, man. You got to promote them. So yeah, but like you said, if people ask you, I get asked that a lot too. I want to get to that level, or whatever. What, man? I'm a humble guy. I don't consider myself a professional. I don't consider myself a full sponsored angler, because trust me, I work Monday through Friday to pay for my hobbies. I don't have a TV show. I don't have companies writing me checks to go fish for them. I don't have none of that. So I'm not a fully sponsored angler. I still buy product. Whether I'm sponsored by Real Sportswear. I still spend money with Real Sportswear. I buy stuff for my wife. I buy stuff for my kids. I want them to wear nice stuff. But so I'm supporting my supporters. I can't sit there and ask a company to give my whole family something. It's just not going to work that way. But
Nina has a good point. They become family.
Yeah,
almost. Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. So to the people coming up that want to pursue sponsors, is first get your name out there. Produce results. Whether it's following, whether it's tournament results, whether it's even if you're not winning tournaments, but you're out there, promoting product and promoting your name in a professional manner. And trust me, there is companies out there that don't need winners. They just need people that are going to go out there and help them out, in a professional manner.
Yeah.
And in most cases, sponsored anglers don't win tournaments.
Yeah.
I just throw it out there. I could probably say 2/3 of them don't win tournaments.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a business. You're partnering up with a company.
Yeah.
Represent them in a proper way.
It's about selling the product.
That's it.
Not selling the fish.
That's it.
That's damn right.
Damn right.
So we're an hour and 1 minute and 52. Quality content on social media is a huge plus. Yeah. Not just tournament. Hey, Vincent,
Yeah, that guy's 100% correct. Man. Vincent, you are, man, and you do a great job of that too.
Only if it's pellet driven. These poppers right here are not pellet driven, man.
I'm gonna be a judge, man, because he made these.
Castro is in the house.
Oh, yo,
man. So let's give something away.
Yeah, let's do it,
Poco. So we're gonna start off with the, and I'm gonna say this, guys. The raffle post that the Spooled Live does is not just the only raffle we might be doing for that weekend, guys.
Yeah.
So we got whoever entered in the raffle, man, y'all did good, because today is y'all's lucky day.
Man, I hope most of y'all on here that started off early till now, I hope most of y'all are there, because there's a key word or two that's gonna be one of the prizes.
So you want to do that one?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay,
now.
So we're gonna give away a prize pack to the first person. First, we're gonna send something to. Let me find out if.
Way earlier than that.
Yeah, I can't go up there. It was Marcus, though.
Here, I got it. Right.
Marcus, are you still with us?
Marcus Molina.
Please say you're still with us, Marcus. Anybody see Marcus out there? Is he on a potty break?
But he's got to respond.
You got to respond, Marcus.
If not, we'll move on to the next guy.
Come on, Marcus. Marcus, respond. We're going to go into this next one. Whoever can guess what Poco got that hammerhead on, we're going to send you a prize. Marcus.
There's Marcus right there.
You are the winner, man. We're going to send you a little prize for being our first comment of the Spooled Life Live. We're going to send you a little something, dude.
That's going to be one of these, huh?
Yeah, we could. We're going to send them that?
Yeah, well, one of them, and then we got another one. So just to let you guys know, man, Andrew Foster over at Real.
Vincent Vo, you're next.
Yeah, there you go. Real Sportswear cap. Gator, truck visor. Look at this, boys.
Man, I could smell that. I could smell it already.
18 packs of A&M lures. I think pretty much every color's in there. Man, there's some line, there's some jig heads. Man, solid right here, boys.
Marcus, you're the first one, man, that commented on the on this live video we're doing, and you did a hell of a job, dude. And for that, for the support, we're gonna send you that prize package. Vincent Vo, let's make sure.
Yeah, that's him.
He was the first one.
He was the first one. Yeah.
To answer what Poco caught the shark on.
Yeah.
And guess what, man? We're gonna send you the same exact
same thing, man. 18
Exact
packs
same
of
thing.
A&M lures, a real sportswear price package, some line, some other little goodies in there, man. Jig heads. I mean, it's awesome, man. Probably what $150 value or something each one. So that's awesome, man. Thank you guys for listening up.
So you got 3, right?
Two. Yeah.
Okay. So our next, I thought we had 4. We didn't have 4.
No, but I can make 4. I can make another one.
No, that's okay. Our next one is the one that we put our names in, which is this package right here. And this is sponsored by Roy's Bait and Tackle. Go check them out. A cool Forever Last shirt, some cool caps. We got some lures, Spooled Outdoors decals. We got a bunch of lures in here. And all this stuff, guys, if y'all did not win, don't let that discourage you. Cruise on into Roy's Bait and Tackle, and y'all could find it in the aisles of Roy's Bait and Tackle. So this is the winner of that 3rd package. My man Poco here is gonna pick one name out of this bucket. And we're going to see who's the winner, guys. It's super important to be on the show. It was a good idea from Poco. It was Poco's idea to give away something to the viewers that are first on the show. Of course, it's going to get viewed after. But for the viewers that stay on, Marcus has been here for 1 hour and 7 minutes, man. You know what I mean? That's huge, man. That's good.
Yeah, man.
So let's pick a name out of here, dude. Pick one name.
Oh, man, I lost it. There you go.
Rob Bozant. Or Bozant. Rob Bozant, you're the winner of the Roy's Bait and Tackle giveaway package. Contact me. I'll contact you. And we'll get it shipped out to you, man.
Yeah, same thing with Vincent. Reach out to me, Vincent. I'll ship it out here next day or two, brother.
Vincent and Marcus, thank y'all for coming on the show, man. The support, y'all support doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you for Roy's Bait and Tackle for the package. Koozie Talk, thank you for Poco being on the show for the Kepahoai segment, you know.
Man, if you guys are lucky, man, I'll post it up on Spooled Live, just exclusive to Spooled Live.
You can only see it here.
That little, 2.5 second career ride I had.
It's something y'all want to see, guys. It's going to be exclusive.
Yeah.
You know, I heard that word this morning, and now it's just stuck in my head. That video is going to be exclusive to the Spooled Life Live channel. You got anything else? Give a shout out to your sponsors.
And I'm give a shout out to Real Sportswear, AM Fishing Lures, Red Tail Republic, T3 Rods. Man, my biggest one, Jackson Kayak. We're both on the Jackson regional team, man. Super happy with them. I made a switch from a major brand to that major brand, and I can't say enough about them. Really glad I did. Man, Torpedo. The industry's changing a lot to electric motors. I've ran 2 others, wasn't impressed, but man, this Torpedo is a game changer, man. If you ever need, if you have any questions, contact me about that one, demo ride, whatever. But man, I think I'm, Pure Fishing. Pure Fishing was my very first career sponsor. About 18 years now, I believe. They have they have all the major brands. Penn, Abu, Berkeley. I mean, they got them all. Yeah, that's I'm very grateful again. I mean, these are just my brands, my preferred brands. So I support them, not telling you what to do, what to use. I'll never do that. But man, if it works for you, brother, use it.
Right.
Yeah.
My man Danny Zuniga is asking, also Rob Stonian, what kind of cap you got on?
This cap right here is AM fishing. AM fishing lures, brother. Go online, find them at Roy's. Lots of other places, retailers. You can get them. Again, they have a great representation. I'm very proud to be part of their team. And man, them products work. That purple haze, that red glow, money all day long.
So we've come to an hour and 10 minutes and 37, 38, 39 seconds.
Yep.
So it's come to that last segment I like to call, it's time to throw in the towel. So we're going to throw in this towel. We appreciate you being on the show. And we're going to give you this little towel we got. Spool Life. This one's yours.
Yeah.
Starch it.
Use it for the poppers.
Yeah, starch it. Put it in your right hand pocket. Back right hand pocket. And don't go down the wrong street in Robstown with that thing.
Nah, man. So if you have any more questions or anything, man, maybe go into further detail, reach out to me, messenger, find me at the next show or next tournament, whatever, brother. We'll talk.
Yeah, if we forgot, if we missed you, I'm sorry, guys, if it was going fast. And I've always said it, I have no idea what I'm doing here. But if we missed a question, hit them up, hit up Poco, hit up myself, slide into my DMs, and we'll go from there. I'll see y'all next time. I'll put a post what I got next. And hopefully y'all catch y'all on.
So one question, when's the next show?
The next show will be Monday. Next Monday. Tangled Up Monday.
Good deal.
We'll see y'all.
Later,
Stay
guys.
tuned.
Thank you, man.